Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from SkiEssentials.com.
I'm Bob. How's it going?
Welcome back to our Top 5 Fridays ski industry news videos. 2 videos in one day today. That's a rarity here at Ski Essentials.
Yeah, and it was a big week for us on the hill too with the ski test, and just this week was like probably one of the fastest weeks of my life.
Slowest and fastest.
Right.
Those ski test days, for some reason, they are both feel slow and long.
Yeah.
Or slow and
Fast.
There we go. Yeah, we did. We just wrapped up our 6th annual ski test and first annual snowboard test.
Yep.
So that was really exciting. If anyone's curious, we tested about 400 different models of skis.
Not just us. We have a whole team of testers that come out and give us feedback. That would be very impressive.
Not just Bob and I. That would be wild. Yeah, so thanks to all the testers. We had, close to 100 testers between ski and snowboard.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're really lucky. We have an awesome test team.
Yeah, so who somehow managed to get like 3 days off in the middle of the week to come skiing, which is just wonderful.
It's just fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, so we couldn't do it without you. We had 20 ski brands there and 5 snowboard brands. So to save time, I'm not going to list all those individually, but thank you to everyone that attended.
Yep.
So that was really exciting. I mentioned last week that we were going to do a final Ski Happy photo contest, kind of to wrap up the season. Couple more details to nail down on that. We will be kicking that off next week sometime and before Friday. So Keep an eye out for that next week. We'll probably have the entry period go a little bit longer than we did throughout this season. Just give people a little more time to get stuff in. And then still waiting on atomic prizes. I did get confirmation that they're on their way, so we should get those turned around and out the door next week.
Sounds good.
Yep. Ski happy.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Hope everyone's still skiing happy.
And taking pictures.
Yes. Make sure
that's the important part of this aspect.
This particular thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And gosh, I think that's everything. Anything else you can think of that's going on here at Ski Essentials?
Not particularly. Just plugging our way into the spring.
Yep. A couple more weeks of skiing here.
Yep.
Should be really fun. So I think we can get right into the news. First news topic of the week, as it often is, FIS World Cup season has wrapped up.
Yeah, people going fast.
All
done going fast.
Yep. So we talk a lot about Michaela Schifrin here on Top 5 Fridays. She finished with really solid season results. She was 2nd in slalom overall, 3rd in giant slalom overall, 3rd in Super G overall, and 1st overall.
I'd be happy with those as my results.
Yeah. I feel like you could, I don't know, what do you have to achieve to, make the Skiing Hall of Fame? If you have, 2 seasons like that, you probably make the Hall of Fame,
yeah,
right?
I'm sure she's there.
Right. No, I'm saying, this could be, a Hall of Fame season for somebody else. When for Michaela, it's, just another average Michaela season.
Right. Like when they break Tom Brady's career into, 3 different sections, he would make the Hall of Fame 3 times.
3 different times, right. So
I think she's well on her way to that type of status.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was getting at. On the men's side, not any tremendous overall finishes this year, but shout out to Luke Winters for picking up 8th in the final slalom event.
Great ski name.
I was hoping you were going to say that. It really is. I think it's like a prerequisite. You got to have a good ski name to make it onto the World Cup.
Yeah.
River Radimus, there's some good ones.
Right, and I think that a lot of that pressure falls to the parents and having that, prescient knowledge that their kids are going to become ski racers and calling them something fast.
Bridget, Anna, Charlotte.
Not really fast names, but...
Well, I could always have kids.
Right? You name them it's kind of like the Lightning McQueen thing in cars. There's no way he's not going fast.
Excellent point. But no, I thought it was a great World Cup season. Very entertaining as always. A lot of ups and downs this season too, which always makes it for an exciting season. And then kind of piggybacking off that for the second topic of the week, we have some U.S. ski team news, a couple new hires. Patrick Rimmel, we both agreed that Rimmel was our guess for pronunciation.
Yeah, whether it's correct or not, we agreed
But he has been hired as the U.S. ski team Alpine director. Most recently, he was the Austrian Alpine director, but he actually was the U.S. team director from 2011 to 2018. So just kind of a revolving door of U.S. ski team directors right now.
Yep.
Where you don't leave the door, you just stay in it.
Right.
And keep walking around. And then another hire, Anouk Pty. She was hired as chief of sport. Tremendous background, Harvard MBA, board member for Green Mountain Valley School, commonly known as GMVS, collegiate ski racer herself, very strong ski racer herself. So pretty exciting.
It's a very ambiguous job title, I found.
Yes. Sounds like she does a lot.
Right. But like nothing specific. It's one of those strange jobs that doesn't seem like it does much, but probably has their hand in everything.
And they probably didn't know what to call it, so they just called it chief of sport.
Right. I would suggest moving skier cross out of freestyle and into Alpine.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my recommendation.
Well,
if I was chief of sport,
you would make that change.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. There are way more similarities with Alpine ski racing than current freestyle.
Right.
And I think that's been sort of a progression for skier cross racing. I think in the early days of skier cross, it was far less refined.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit more chaotic. And it did kind of feel more of like a freestyle event.
Yeah.
Like you had to like do some weird stuff. And now the courses are just like so well designed and so manicured that it's just ski racing with jumps.
Right. And there's jumps already and downhill and some Super G races. So
it's ski racing with banked turns.
Right. And other people.
Yeah. Interesting. But anyways, a lot of people, there's been a lot of talk about the U.S. ski team. So a couple new hires and maybe they'll shake some things up.
Yep.
Time will tell. Third topic of the week, we have a story out of Telluride kind of highlighting the mountain town housing difficulties, which has been an ongoing story, not just here in Top 5 Fridays, in the industry in general.
Yeah, going on a few years now, this has really become a hot topic.
Yeah, so, it's not really news that it's hard for mountain town employees to find housing in mountain towns. The real estate value in mountain towns has just gone through the roof.
Yep.
We were eyeing a $16 million property in Stowe.
Yeah, it's a nice little place up in North Hill.
Really nice. Yeah. Very quaint little place to spend your time. But, I mean, that's a little bit of an outlier. But, no, resort town real estate prices have shot up in the past few years.
Right, and correspondingly, inventory has dropped.
Right.
So it's
exactly
doesn't matter how expensive it is.
Yep. So this article from Western Slope Now was highlighting the owner of Baked in Telluride, which is a pizzeria. And what he did was he purchased an entire building to house his employees, which, I think sounds great, but does create kind of a unique scenario where your boss is also your landlord.
Yeah.
Which, isn't the best situation in the world.
Right. I mean, it's not really like the pizza shop owner's responsibility to house employees, but what's the alternative? Losing the business?
Right.
So it's also an investment for them. So, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what the answer is, but something, whether those places start closing because they can't find employees, I mean, it's just, it's a matter of time before something like that happens.
Right. And I think you and I agree that things like this tend to reach sort of an equilibrium at some point and kind of work themselves out. The issue kind of works itself out in the long run, at least.
Right.
So,
I mean, the pizza shop.
How long that'll take, but
yeah, the pizza shop exists to serve tourists. And if there's no pizza shop, there'll be less tourists. And then if there's less tourists, there's less people to buy this high-end housing, and then more housing will open up. So, yeah, it's going to be kind of a back and forth, I think. And it's not going to be like an overnight thing.
More like a
decade.
couple decades.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's constantly evolving. So nothing we'll see is going to change by the time we're here next week.
No.
So
Nope. So if another article pops up, we can have the same
Yep.
conversation again. But I did think this was interesting, and that particular aspect of having your employer also be your landlord, I feel like can create some uncomfortable situations. So check that out if you want to learn more about that. And then fourth topic of the week, we got some. It's been a while since we've talked about this, but we're kind of circling back to Little Cottonwood Canyon traffic issues. I've been a longtime supporter of the gondola.
Yep.
That was always my favorite solution to this problem. And we had kind of an op-ed piece about how the parking reservation system that was implemented this year at Alta really solved a lot of these problems, or at least did in this person's opinion. So you had to pre-register your license plate number. I believe this was just for weekend days, and also pay a $25 fee.
Right. Maybe the fee had more to do with it than the reservation, that people decided, I'm not going to spend an extra $100 a weekend to go skiing.
Yeah, I would think so. I think probably at least added to it.
Right.
I think probably it's a little bit of both. Anytime you have to pre-register for something or sign up in advance, you're going to get less people because you don't have like the impulse decision as much. People are planning ahead more.
Yeah.
But then, you tack on that fee and you're going to lose more people.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it didn't stop people from skiing here last year at other Vail resorts that had a reservation for skiing. For parking. Like, imagine if the reservation thing had like a $5 a day surcharge or something like that. Like that.
Crazy.
Like then you'd see a drop.
Yeah.
So I think that added cost just must throw people off.
Yeah. And I appreciate this person's opinion, but I can't sit here and say that I agree with their opinion.
Right.
That to me doesn't feel like a good solution.
Right.
Because then what's the end? Like, where does it end?
Keep raising the price.
Right.
$50 a day
Exactly.
next year, $100 the year
and then
after.
all of a sudden we're spending like a couple $100 to park.
Right.
And it just I just don't like that direction for skiing. Maybe certain if you want to we were talking about what was it in Montana that had like the elite, their business model was very elite. And
the Big Sky from last week. Yeah,
exactly.
$325 a day or whatever
So
it ended up being.
I suppose I can understand it for a handful of resorts across the country, but I certainly hope that doesn't become the norm.
Right, and especially if it goes from weekends to every day, that'll price a whole lot of people out of skiing.
Right. I mean, even just like thinking about myself, like growing up, if my parents had to like pay to park to take me to Shawnee Peak,
right,
we would have gone to Shawnee Peak a lot less.
Right.
We still would have gone, but it wouldn't have been as easy or as fun.
Yeah.
More of an impulse thing. Like, hey, you guys want to go skiing today? Sweet, let's go skiing today. I don't know. Doesn't feel like a solution to me. I'm still back to the taxpayer-funded $500 million gondola, which I suppose is a lot of money. But I don't know. Something about the reservation cost doesn't sit well with me. And Bob and I are going to be heading out to this exact area in just a week and a half.
Can't wait to do market research on this.
So Bob and I will be doing our own firsthand research and analytics of the Little Cottonwood Canyon road situation.
We'll have this problem solved in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, don't you worry. Bob and I will come back. Gosh, it'll probably be, who knows? What is it, the 15th? Is that a Friday? So you can look for a solution on April 15th.
Okay.
We got you covered.
Yep. Little Cottonwood Canyon people.
The solution's just going to be a $500 billion gondola.
I don't think you want to sit on a gondola for that long.
I do.
Okay.
It's like
both ways?
20 minutes, half an hour, or something like that.
I don't know.
That doesn't sound too bad to me. Bring a book?
I don't like that.
You don't like gondolas?
I'm not a gondola guy.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. How you would hate that, huh?
Yeah. I'd rather pay $25 a day.
Anyways, that's it for news topics this week. Then we have our edits of the week. First, we have Jesper, just a run in teen.
Yep.
I'm not going to go for the proper French pronunciation, but really cool video, point of view, kind of
Yep.
Candide style, a nod to Candide. And then we have a Bluebird Backcountry tour with Glade Optics. Bluebird Backcountry they've come up in conversation a handful of times on Top 5 Fridays, so kind of cool to see a tour of that place.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a preview of the Freeride World Tour final at Verbier. So that should be awesome.
I always like that venue.
Yeah, I think it's most people's favorite stop. And then we've had a lot of faction edits, kind of highlights from their Roots movie. And this week we have the crash reel.
Awesome.
Always love a good crash reel. And that's it for Top 5 Fridays this week. Bob, I got to go get my hair cut in like 20 minutes. Anything exciting happening in your life this weekend?
Nope, we'll just force the kids to go skiing again and really just try to milk the last bit of winter out of the season. And
Yeah, we're going right back into winter.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be cold.
Yeah, high of 15 on Monday.
Great.
So bundle up. So that's it. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.